Discussing a different set of terms.
President Trump also warning Iran against collecting tolls on ships passing through the waterway. One last part of Artemis 2's mission is left now, and that's the coming home. The 4 astronauts aboard Orion are set to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere later today, headed for a landing in the ocean off the southern coast of California.
Today, the Orion spacecraft will separate from the service module that's been powering it. Orion's heat shield will protect the capsule from temperatures up to 5,000 degrees. As Orion enters Earth's atmosphere, it'll travel nearly 24,000 miles per hour. Then parachutes will deploy, slowing down the spacecraft as it splashes down tonight off Southern California.
It's ABC's Hannah Battah, and a hero has passed away in Tullahoma. Thomas Edward Gwynn was Tullahoma's oldest resident, 106 years old, and considered the greatest ranger that ever was. He served during World War II, fought in historic battles like D-Day, Battle of the Bulge, and the Battle of Normandy. He also fought in the Korean War and was a prisoner of war 2 times, both times escaping from captivity. Now, he's been decorated with 12 Purple Hearts, the Silver Star, the Presidential Unit Citation, and more. Gwynn came home to run the Gwynn Appliance Repair Company in Tullahoma for many years. He died on Monday, and if you'd like to say goodbye to this great American hero, you are welcome to attend the funeral with military honors that's happening next Wednesday. I've got the details. I added them to my X account. You can check it out there at Joan Jones WTN. That is the latest news, traffic, and weather are next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 7 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We made it to Friday. How are you? Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We're going to do a little bit of an agenda-free Friday today. I got some things that we can talk about, but anything that you want to discuss, phone lines are wide open. 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. We do have some updates on Iran. J.D. Vance is already on the plane, heading to Islamabad, Pakistan, for those negotiations this weekend, and we'll keep you updated on everything there. We'll also talk about the ceasefire. We're going to talk about the Epstein files, Melania Trump, shocking press conference yesterday. That word on the street is they say the president had no idea what she was going to say. I think that that's a bit of bovine scatology and a little plausible deniability, but we'll get into that. We'll also talk about NATO and their lack of effort until the bread has been made, and then we'll talk about the fraud in the midterms, and we can dive into Maria Salazar's amnesty bill if we get some time as well. I haven't been overly interested in the Maria Salazar amnesty bill. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but a listener brought it up yesterday, so I did some more research, and I got some more info, and we can talk about it if you guys want to. But anything that you want to talk about, we can put it on the agenda. 615-737-9986. Phone lines are open for you. Let's start with the Melania Trump stuff and the Epstein files. Melania Trump has been repeatedly, constantly slandered, saying that Epstein was a direct reason why she was introduced to Donald Trump. She took to a press conference yesterday a surprise statement denying any of these unspecified allegations about her and Jeffrey Epstein, the scandal that has been ongoing. The 55-year-old former model's on-camera remarks, Breitbart reports, at the White House came out of the blue, with no explanation for why she would bring up the late sex offender Epstein until now. And she went on to say the lies linking her to Epstein need to end today. And I'm here for it. One of the other things that Melania Trump did was she called for justice, which is fantastic. We do need some justice. And she wants Congress to allow Epstein survivors to testify publicly and go on the record with what they've experienced and who they've been victimized by. This is, I mean, for me, I think this is a wild statement because you have a lot of people wondering why the FBI, why the DOJ hasn't charged any of these individuals. And they've come out, just a couple weeks ago, last week, when Pam Bondi got fired, Deputy AG, now acting AG, Todd Blanche, went on the Jesse Waters show, and he's like, well, the Epstein saga's done. I don't think so, man. It doesn't seem that way. Melania Trump yesterday.
Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone. Several prominent male executives resigned from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt, but we still must work openly and transparently to uncover the truth. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony. Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth.
I'm here for it. I think the American people are here for it as well. And these statements directly contradict what the acting attorney general said just last week on Jesse Waters' show. Remember, he had a big interview, Todd Blanche did, with Jesse Waters after the firing of Pam Bondi, who, by all metrics, botched everything Epstein, or she was set up to fail. You make the determination. I think it could be either or. Todd Blanche on the Epstein files.
We did. Now, the Epstein files, you'd agree, not handled well?
No, and I don't, first of all, I have never heard President Trump say that the Attorney General that anything that happened to her had anything to do with the Epstein files. And so, look, the Epstein files has been a saga that's lasted for the past year. And what happened when the president signed the Transparency Act is the Department of Justice has now released all the files with respect to the Epstein saga. And the Attorney General Bondi and I appeared in front of Congress voluntarily a couple weeks ago to answer any questions they had. We have made every single congressman, senator available to come and see any document, redacted, unredacted, that they want. And so I think that to the extent that the Epstein files was a part of the past year of this Justice Department, it should not be a part of anything going forward.
Well, don't count your chickens before they hatch, Mr. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. Because it seems like this is not going anywhere. And the First Lady came out of the blue yesterday with these comments saying we need to get the victims testifying in front of Congress. We need this on the record. We need the truth. So the saga of your own making in the Trump administration doesn't seem to be done. But we want truth. It was just last week where Todd Blanche said, no, we're done. We're done. We released all the files. And then he quickly tried to cover up any links to Jeffrey Epstein and any foreign intelligence agencies.
Who was Epstein spying for?
Look, everything. I don't know that he was spying for anybody. Nobody's ever said that.
No? You don't think?
I love that nobody's ever said that. Nobody's ever said wow, what a random crazy idea. I'm hearing this for the first time. Like the Trump with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Wow. You're just telling me this. I'm hearing this for the first time. It's like, how are you not prepared for a question like that? I've never heard that. He was spying? What?
I don't know that he was spying for anybody. Nobody's ever said that.
No? You don't think he might have been a spy for a foreign country?
I have no idea if he was a spy. All I know is that we don't have any evidence in the Epstein files that the FBI collected over 15 years that suggests that, Jesse. I don't know. I wasn't part of the original prosecution team. Neither was Attorney General Bondi. And I can tell you this. There's only one president that's held Mr. Epstein accountable, and that's Donald J. Trump. During his first administration, that was the administration that prosecuted him, and during this administration, it's the administration that's been totally transparent and released all the files. And no matter how much criticism people want to make about the Epstein files, that is indisputable. It's undisputable that nobody talked about the Epstein files for 4 years during Biden. 4 years. And so when President Trump said, let's release the Epstein files, and the law was passed that allowed us to legally do it, we did it.
I mean, that stuff is true. Donald Trump has been up against Epstein. Donald Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago when he was trying to steal the massage parlor girls. Donald Trump, he called Palm Beach Police Department and said, you can't just look at Epstein, you need to look at Maxwell too. Donald Trump worked with defense attorney Bradley Edwards, who represented 70-plus Epstein victims. But it seems like somebody's trying to cover up something, and I'm not necessarily blaming the president here. He has to trust the people to do their job, but it doesn't seem like the job is getting done. Donald Trump isn't out there redacting these files himself. He's not thumbing through each of the 3 million files on his own, deciding what to release and what not to release. But the fact remains, every room in this guy's house was wired for audio and video. And a lot of the material that the DOJ said they couldn't release was CSA, child sex abuse material. So you're telling me that there were no other people in those videos? No one? I find that hard to believe. I really do. And I think we want some justice. Melania Trump calling for it yesterday. But she's upset because she's been linked to this. You know, people have said that because of the modeling agencies, that Melania Trump was actually one of these girls. And she got linked up with Donald Trump because of that. And Melania yesterday saying, listen, these are baseless lies, and we are fighting them tooth and nail. And if we need to get attorneys involved, we can do that as well. This was Melania Trump yesterday.
Had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false. I'm not a witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes. My name has never appeared in court documents, depositions, victim statements, or FBI in interviews surrounding the Epstein matter. I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island. I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime in connection with Epstein's sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other repulsive behavior. The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb politically, must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and return.
That's Melania Trump yesterday. We're fighting this tooth and nail, and if you're mentioning these lies, you are going to be forced to apologize. Word on the street, though, is that Donald Trump was unaware of what Melania was going to say when she addressed the nation. This is on MS Now, so take it with a grain of salt, and I do find it a bit hard to believe that the president wouldn't have had any idea, but this is their reporting.
Yeah, Nicole, that is the question that we're all asking today. In fact, I just got off a very quick call before we went to air with President Trump, who said he was in the middle of a war meeting and that he couldn't talk for very long and had to go, but that actually he had no prior knowledge to the topic that Melania Trump, his wife, was going to be touching upon today in his statement. In her statement, he then repeated that he had to go, but before we hung up the phone, he said that she didn't know him, presumably referring to Jeffrey Epstein.
So this is an MS Now reporter, and I do think it's important to point out that Donald Trump has given his personal cell phone to the MS Now reporter who he is answering phone calls for. The most transparent president in history. He'll take phone calls from anybody. We've seen this with Jonathan Karl from ABC. He's like, nobody ever did stuff like this, but Donald Trump does. So he told the MS Now reporter, I didn't know what she was going to say. Is that a bit of plausible deniability? Perhaps. Maybe it's the truth. I don't know. But I do believe that the smears against Melania Trump are just that, smears. Let's go to Jay in Nashville. He wants to talk about the war and about Melania. What's up, Jay? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How's it going?
Good. What do you got?
This is my opinion. When you don't do what Israel wants you to do, which was bomb Iran, I think everything's about to come out. I think they're going to release the stuff they have on him. She's trying to get ahead of it and protect herself. And, this is the same thing that Donald Trump called a hoax, a Democratic hoax a month ago. Big Donald J, it didn't exist in his world. So with the Israel stuff, I guess the only way to prove if you're correct with your theory would be time. Which, hey, I'm open to that being the case. I'm not shouting it down or anything. Donald, he could release the files. He acts like he needs Congress to do that, but he didn't need them to go lose this war.
But he's also doing a million things at once. So he puts people in places to do the job.
Yeah,
he's not redacting all these files himself, which we've talked about numerous times.
Right. You don't think he's had any guidance? He just let them go. He didn't have any input. Hey, you guys just do what you do. You don't think he had any insight on that whatsoever, even though Todd Blanchard was his personal attorney before he got into office?
I have a hard time believing that Donald Trump was in there saying, you need to redact this, you need to redact that. I do.
Right, I got you. I get it.
What was your other, I'm blanking on the other point you made on Melania. After you said that this is her getting in front of it because they're not bombing Iran and Israel's going to release everything. What was the other point?
No, that's without bringing Israel, some people don't understand that. But, she's getting in front of that. Things are about to come out more. That things that everyone's been denying, and all the View MAGA people who made your MAGA bed.
No, I know what you said. No, I know what you said when Donald Trump called it a hoax. I mean, I think that the hoax he's referring to is the fact that the Democrats are using it as a political bludgeon, yet when they were in power for 4 years, they did absolutely nothing with the files.
COVID, Donald Trump was initially in office when Epstein was charged.
Exactly. It was his DOJ that brought him to justice.
And why would a bunch of Democrats put it out when it's Democrats and Republicans on the list? Why would he have his DOJ arrest him if he knew that he was implicated? I mean, if it's two sides of the same bird, why would they have in the cookie jar, sometimes you gotta just say, But
you're ignoring all the other evidence from before. How Donald Trump reached out to Palm Beach Police Department. How Donald Trump worked with the defense attorney for 70.
Talking point. That has been your go-to talking point
because it's concrete. I mean, like we can go theories. We can go theories.
After he started getting
my thing is, Jay, and I love you, man. I love when you call. I really do. Yeah. Like I hope you understand that. Like I love having these conversations with you. But I keep going back to those. I keep going back to those three things because they're solid. They are rooted in the truth. It is the foundation for the argument. When you say, when you say Melania is getting in front of this because something's going to come out because they're not bombing Iran and Israel's upset, like that's all theory. Nothing I'm saying is theory.
Do you personally, honestly think that's a stretch at this point?
I'm open to that. I'm open to the fact that Epstein could have been Mossad. I'm open to the fact that Maxwell's father was Mossad. So, like, I don't think it's out of the
he wrote. Yeah. I don't deeper than that. Like Maxwell's father wrote the school books that we learned from.
No, I know. But here's my thing. Here's my thing. While I'm open to that, and I would let new information change my mind, there's nothing concrete there right now.
But I know, and it's going to hurt when the concrete hits you guys in the forehead, man.
But until then, Jay, you don't have anything concrete right now. And like I said, I'm open to new information changing my mind. But your theory is either going to be proven false or it's going to be proven true. And I don't know what, 2 or 3 weeks. Is that what you're thinking? So if 3 weeks goes by and we don't bomb Iran and there's a ceasefire and Israel's really mad about it and this doesn't come out, are you going to apologize?
What? Absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. I would love it in my heart, and my life would be much better than it is now if I had to apologize for this.
Okay, well let's just recap. This is what we know.
I will call in. Well, okay.
So this is, and I don't even. I mean, like I like these. I like these conversations. It really doesn't bother me
for sure.
So the only thing that we have concrete, right? Let's just wrap this up and put a bow on it. Trump's DOJ prosecuted and put Epstein behind bars. Concrete. We both agree.
Absolutely.
Trump worked with defense attorney Bradley Edwards, who represented 70-plus Epstein victims and gave them actionable information. We have that from defense attorney Bradley Edwards. That is concrete. Donald Trump reached out to Palm Beach Police Department and said, yeah, thank goodness you're going after Epstein, but you need to look into Maxwell too. That's concrete. We have it. We have it from the Palm Beach Police Department. So
Yes, sir. Here's another concrete thing I want you to think about. Now, he got arrested down in Florida. That's Trump's little playground. And what if Trump really arrested him to protect him? I don't think he died. I think he might have put him in there. He's in control. Trump is his savior, got him out. But the same reason they went and gave
this is what you do. You're playing hopscotch again, man. Because
you kind of are too until you get the concrete facts, Chris.
I just gave you 3 of them.
Where did those facts come from?
So where did the facts come from? So I said Trump's DOJ arrested Epstein. And then you said, well, they just did that to protect him. I don't believe he's alive. What?
I don't believe they killed. Do you believe he killed himself? Do you believe he killed himself, or do you believe they got him out of there?
I believe that he was.
I believe they killed him.
I believe he was
Trump
probably.
Was in charge of all 3 of those.
I believe he was probably killed to keep his mouth shut.
Okay. Boom. Then who was in charge when he got killed? Trump.
Okay.
Why would he want to kill him and keep his mouth shut?
Okay,
Trump.
but if you're of the opinion that Israel can pull all these strings and control everything behind the scenes, but finding somebody and getting them killed in prison is too much of a stretch, that has to be blamed on Trump?
Trump is Israel. What? Trump isn't. Baby Netanyahu, what are you talking about? Look at what's happening now. He might be waking up. He might be just
Trump,
now waking up.
Or his objectives aligned with Israel's for a time, and you're upset with that.
He's just been a good little goyim.
You can say that. You can say that, and that's your right to say it.
I believe it.
But Netanyahu got left out of the ceasefire talks.
Yeah, and the next day Melania is talking about Epstein. I'm just saying it might be true. I don't know.
It's all theory.
I
don't listen. This conversation doesn't scare me. I'm happy to have it with you again, Jay. Call me back in a couple weeks,
sir.
and we'll see what the timeline has proven or disproven.
I've calmed down a little bit.
Listen. I think calm Jay is my favorite Jay.
Man, when you get black pilled, and it's hard. It's hard when some of the stuff that you kind of hang on to.
Jay,
when you realize that you can't hang on to them either, it messes with you. But I love you, bro. It's nothing personal. Just
I know it's not personal. I appreciate you. A lot of people want to reply to Jay that they're on the line now. We'll get to those phone calls on the way. It's 9:28. We're running a little bit late, but I think it was a good call and it was worth it. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's 9:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Vice President J.D. Vance boarding Air Force Two not long ago. He's headed to Pakistan for the weekend's high-stakes talks with Iran to end the war. He did stop and talk to reporters.
Good morning. Thanks for coming. Look, we're looking forward to the negotiation. I think it's going to be positive. We'll, of course, see, as the President of the United States said, if the Iranians are willing to negotiate in good faith, we're certainly willing to extend the open hand. If they're going to try to play us, then they're going to find that the negotiating team is not that receptive. So
the timeline is a little fuzzy here for the start of these talks. We'll keep an eye on it. Some parents of White House Heritage High School want to know why they were left in the dark after reports of a seventh grader who may have made a hit list of fellow students. This dad spoke to WSMV4.
My daughter texted me, told me she was scared to go to school because She supposedly got a text from one of her friends saying an individual said he was going to shoot the school up.
A spokesperson for the school said the district is aware of a verbal threat that was made, but didn't find any evidence of an actual threat. That student has been suspended. And why did she do it? Fox News interviewing Mark Beckman this morning. He's a senior advisor to First Lady Melania Trump over that surprise statement about Jeffrey Epstein yesterday.
It's a combination of legacy media, social media, different corporate entities and personalities. But we as a society need to get back to respect. And certainly our First Lady, the First Lady of the United States, deserves respect. When she's out there working every single day for the Americans, helping children, helping families, driving to make this country better, that's what she deserves for people to pay attention to. Not this nonsense, just lies and innuendos.
And that is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock store. If you like things that go pew-pew and you like to train, the only place to do it in Nashville is at the Shoot 270 indoor training rooms and the Glock store. These guys are the best. And if you've never been before, you're really missing out. I was there a couple weeks ago for the force-on-force simunition training, and it was so much fun, man. It is so cool. The best training is done at the Glock store. And if you haven't been, circle this date on your calendar. Saturday, May 30th. It's their 6th annual open house. It's going to be the perfect time for you to check out the Glock store for the first time if you've never been, or come back and hang out if you go all the time like we do. They're already working on this open house. They're planning very, very big things. I've been to a few of them. They're always a blast. Great speakers, demonstrations, shooting competitions. There's going to be a ton of vendor tables with factory reps giving out some swag. And the biggest and best open to the public free gun gear raffle in all of Nashville. Probably the entire country. Last year, they gave away over $25,000 in incredible raffle prizes, plus 3 Glocks, including a Glock store custom Glock that was worth over $2,000. They told me that I couldn't get in the raffle last year because I was technically working for them. I objected. I'm going to object again this year, and I'll let you know how that advances. This is going to be fun. Saturday, May 30th, 6th annual open house, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, and always open online, glockstore.com.
Are you willing to end this conflict with Iran charging tolls for passage through the strait?
Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us.
Hey, guys!
Hey.
38 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch the show as well. Super Talk TV up and running. YouTube and Rumble are the big ones. Smash the subscribe button to help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. We had a caller a little while ago, Jay, very black-pilled when it comes to Trump and Epstein. We had a good conversation. I wasn't mad at it. Bobby in Nashville wants to respond to our friend Jay. What's up, Bobby? How are you?
Pretty good, brother. Thanks for taking my call. I won't keep you but a minute. But, Jay, brother, I just want to say this, man. You need to stay off a lower broad on a Thursday night. When you was talking to Chris, I could just see you right now through the screen. You had a couple of veins raised up in your cranium and everything. But here's the deal, Chris. You put him in his place, man. When he started talking about Epstein, he kept going on and on. You broke his heart now when you told him this right here. What was done the last 4 years during Biden's administration? And what did he say? He couldn't say anything. He got tongue-tied. And what did he go to? He tried to blame it on COVID. I mean, that's all I got to add, brother.
Yeah, I hear you, Bobby, and I appreciate the call. 615-737-9986. I like Jay. I don't think Jay is a unicorn by any stretch of the imagination. I think there are a lot of conservatives who feel like the country or the party has been taken over by Israel. Listen, does Israel have more influence than maybe they should? I think you can have that conversation. But to say that Donald Trump is getting dog walked by Netanyahu, I don't necessarily see that. I'm open to new information, change my mind, but the Epstein files and saying that Trump is covering them up because of Israel, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Let's go to Mike in Nashville. He wants to talk about Melania. What's up, Mike?
Yeah, Chris. I think you're wrong on this situation with Epstein. You can't tell me that Melania Trump doesn't know who this man is. When Donald Trump is seen in photographs with this guy, plus Melania is in those photographs too. And a lot of people believe that Epstein introduced Melania to Donald Trump.
Yeah, well,
for her to come on television, she told a bunch of lies yesterday on television.
That's the rumor that she's pushing back against, that Epstein introduced them.
Well, that's a lot. She told there are photographs of her with Maxwell, Donald Trump, and Epstein in all four of them in the same photo. Where they was at, I don't know if they was at Trump's house. She claimed that she never went to Epstein Island yesterday. I don't know if she did or not. But for her to say that she doesn't know who this man is and what type of things he was involved in, and here's the thing that really doesn't that I don't understand the most.
Hold on. Do you really think that's a bridge too far? That somebody would be at a party and ask for a picture with Donald Trump while he's standing there with Melania, that they would take a picture? Do you know how many pictures Donald Trump has probably taken with people? And I know that Trump knew. I know Trump knew Epstein, but like, don't you realize how much of a stretch that is? Like, all of these big parties have photographers rolling around. Like, that's what they do. There are people that are there that are paid to take pictures. Well, I mean, I don't know. How is a picture prove that Epstein introduced Melania to Donald Trump?
Let me ask you this question, Chris. Just like the caller that called in before me, two callers. Why is Melania trying to get ahead? Who said that Melania had anything to do with Epstein? Who said that Melania had anything to do with any kids being molested? Well, she brought that on
literally,
report.
Mike.
When you do that, sounds like somebody that's trying to hide something.
Mike, you literally just got on the air and said the same lie that she was pushing back against in her statements. You said Epstein definitely introduced Melania to Trump. Haven't you seen the pictures of them together? And then you said, who said that she had anything to do with it? That this is what's been going on online for months now. These rumors. This is what she's pushing back against.
Yeah, but why? Okay, why is Donald Trump? Why wasn't he in the same video with Melania? Why come he didn't make a statement with Melania, his wife, saying that neither one of us are guilty of any of these things? Why was Donald Trump? Why did he not appear with Melania yesterday?
How many times has Trump said he has nothing to do with it? How many times has Trump said he's innocent? Why didn't Donald Trump put out? Why didn't Trump put out a video yesterday saying he's not a white supremacist? Like, does he need to put out videos every single day and make statements that he's already made in the past? We've never.
Chris, you can listen, Chris. You come on your show every day, every other day, saying that you want the truth about the Epstein. You want to know the truth. You're not happy with Pam Bondi, and then when Melania comes out with blatant lies yesterday, now you're trying to cover up for her.
What was the blatant lie?
That's not the truth that the woman said yesterday.
Did you watch the whole statement? What was the blatant lie?
She said that she knew nothing of his activities. She knew nothing of him having molested children.
How on earth, Mike, how on earth could you, with 100% certainty, call that a blatant lie?
You mean to tell me that she's been married to Donald Trump all these years, and all the accusations about Donald Trump, and she had no idea that Epstein was a child molester?
What year did they get married?
That's what you want me to believe.
What year did Melania and Trump get married?
Okay. Me and you agree on a lot of things. We're not going to agree on this. Have a nice day, Chris. Have a nice day.
All right, Mike.
Have a nice day.
I mean, they got married in 2005. I mean, at that point, Donald Trump wasn't even didn't even have a relationship with Epstein. Epstein had already been outed. Like, I don't know. Hey, you do you. Let's go to Jeff on the road. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, brother, how are you?
I'm good, man. What do you got?
Hey, listen, man. First of all, thank you very much for the show that you do. I appreciate what you guys do. First-time caller, long-time listener. But, man, I just want to speak to the moral fabric of the country. I sit back and I listen, and I'm a Christian and proud to be. But I sit back and I listen to the people that call in on your show, man, and I think to myself, what is the matter? What have we gone to in this country? Because we sit back and all we do is pick each other apart, man. You know, we're going through all this stuff in Iran, right, wrong, or indifferent. But the bottom line, someone of a higher power that had a lot more intelligence, a lot more information than you and I, made a decision to go in and do that. So they know more than I do. I was raised, I'm almost 60 years old, man. So I sat back and I was raised back a long time ago, you didn't question. You know, I mean, it's cool to question, but you didn't question what we were doing because we were Americans. We're supposed to stand with each other. We're supposed to watch each other's back. And it rips my heart out, man, to see and to hear people just constantly bickering and fussing back and forth, this and that. And it's like, man, we're Americans. Let's stand together. Let's stand as one and be united. You know, when 9/11 happened, this country, man, came together like no other. And we sit back and we talk about sacrifices. There's people in this country that sacrifice. There's people sacrificing their life right now overseas for our freedoms and our liberties so we can sit and we can have these discussions. But, man, it's just disheartening, pardon my French, as hell, to sit back and listen to some of this sometimes. I mean, I'm old, so I can say this, but it's like the younger generation they're twisted, man. Where did we get off track? I think we all need to sit down, drop to our knees, and pray every night that we can come back together and get this thing turned around, because if we don't, man, we are in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And thank you for taking my call, brother.
Hey, I appreciate you, Jeff. Have a great weekend. Let's go to Steve in Murfreesboro. What's up, Steve?
Hey, Chris, how you doing, brother?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing great. Hey, I'd like to review the callers that come in and they don't let you talk and they want to talk over people. They don't understand that the people that are involved, obviously, they don't release anything because they're very powerful people. More powerful than Donald Trump. And with all the AI and everything, I don't believe everybody that was in contact with Epstein was somehow affiliated with all the bad stuff he was doing. If that was the case, there would be hundreds and hundreds of people that would just come out and say who was with him or what did what. You know, to have all these people, you know, holding these deep secrets, it's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the Epstein stuff was probably like, hey, Congressman so-and-so, you have fun last night? It'd be a shame if your wife found out. It'd be a shame if somebody knew that she was actually 17. I mean, I think that there was a lot of that along with the rampant pedophilia. I'm with you. I don't think everybody was as involved 100% with some of the dark horror stories that you hear on the internet.
But that's whether they're Democrat or Republican. I mean, I don't. It's if your name is on a list just because you emailed them or this and that. I mean, you're already getting persecuted in public. But the last caller saying we need to get together. That's over. The Democrats they're not American. They don't even like America. You know what I'm saying? So how are we going to get back to the old days? And when 9/11 happened, that was a big attack on America. So if you had any kind of pride in your country, which that's missing these days, people who are patriotic. I mean, I go by on the highway and I see the American flag. I salute the flag because I'm very patriotic. But all you got to do is look at these leftists all day long, and they're not patriotic.
No, I mean, and when you say, how do we get through this? It's like, for me, I want accountability, and I want high-profile politicians that have been involved with this stuff, or the fraud, or the RussiaGate hoax, or the collusion. I want them all brought up on charges and being held accountable, whether they're blue or red. Though I don't necessarily think that would lead to the unity that we're looking for.
Those days are over.
Yep.
I mean, they're not. I was a Democrat when I was in the union when I was younger as an iron worker. And, we were, the policies that we did, I seen that they worked, and then after Obama, then you see that the working class men, they were forgotten about, kind of like how they pander for black votes. Well, they knew that they could get the union vote. They knew they could get the little guys vote. But after Obama, it was like they didn't care about us anymore. That's why Trump, who was a Democrat, switched sides and said, I'll take you guys on my side. That's why there's such a movement, because the Democrats just pander for your votes, and then they don't do anything for you. My point is, look at the ghettos. I'm from Detroit originally. The ghetto is the ghetto. It hasn't changed up. All the promises to get your vote, why hasn't it changed?
Yeah.
If they're all for you, why has it not changed? It has gotten worse.
It's funny you mentioned that. I lived in Detroit for a while, and we had family up there, and I remember we were sitting around on a Mother's Day, and I said, why wouldn't you guys just try and vote Republican? I mean, you've been voting Democrat for how long, and nothing gets better. Why wouldn't you at least just go the other way? They all looked at me like I had three heads. Steve, I do appreciate your call, man. Call in anytime, all right?
All right, thanks, Chris. Have a good day, brother.
You too, man. Let's go to Todd in Smyrna. What's up, Todd?
Nothing much. How you doing today?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Show.
What do you got?
I just wanted to say I think it's not fair to everybody how they treat Melania. She's been a very classy lady through all this, and we should give her the benefit of the doubt. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I'm with you, man, and I appreciate the call. 615-737-9986. If you want to keep the conversation going, we'll do it on the other side. It's 9:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hanford. Conservatives for lower health care costs. President Trump is doing what politicians have promised for decades but never delivered. He's actually fighting to lower prescription drug costs for American families and our seniors, and he's forced Big Pharma to make deals. He reformed pharmacy benefit managers, and he launched Trump RX. That's the platform to buy medications at dramatically reduced prices, which is real relief for Tennessee families, seniors, and anyone who's ever had to choose between food and a prescription. But right now in Nashville, they're pushing Senate Bill 2040. This is the so-called Fair Prescription Act, and it sounds reasonable, but they say if it passes, it would force the closure of hundreds of pharmacies across Tennessee overnight, which would mean thousands of jobs are also eliminated, and over 1.5 million people would be scrambling to find care. Many of these pharmacies serve rural communities where the nearest pharmacy is 30 minutes away. SB 2040 would also cut off mail order delivery. That hurts veterans, seniors who can't drive, and Trump RX itself. This is big government at its worst, trying to fix a problem by creating 3 new ones. Conservatives for lower healthcare costs, sounding the alarm. You can learn more and decide for yourself at protecttnrx.com.
Hey, Jerry, guess who's in the Epstein files?
What?
Kramer.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Up ahead, the Tennessee legislature takes action on activist judges, and a California sheriff's deputy is dead, but so is the suspect in a most unusual case. Those stories coming up at 10 o'clock here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Doing a bit of an agenda-free Friday. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. We'll get to some of the stuff and updates on the Iran situation here momentarily as well. But anything else you want to talk about, 615-737-9986. Let's go to Terry in Nashville. What's up, Terry?
Good morning, Chris. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course. What do you got?
I just have a quick note. Everyone wants to talk about all the pictures with Trump, with Epstein, Melania and Epstein. Well, when someone new comes into your life, you have to spend time with them to make a determination whether or not this is someone you want in your life. Do you not?
Yep.
Okay, and you might have had a photograph taken with them. And, of course, everyone wants a picture with Trump. They did then, and they certainly would now. So that doesn't mean anything because he had a photograph taken with him.
I'm with you. I was actually, it's funny you say that. I'm talking to Mason off the air, and I was like, you know who I have pictures with? I have a bunch of pictures with Snoop Dogg. I'm not friends with Snoop Dogg. I don't have his cell phone number. I've never been invited to his house, but I have a couple photos with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Exactly. So all these people that want to judge him just because he was in a photograph and he spent time with them, I'd like them to take a retrospective on their own life to see who they hung out with.
Amen. I'm with you, Terry, and I appreciate the call. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, look, that's me and Snoop Dogg. That's my best friend, actually. He was
oh, heck yeah,
the godfather of my kids. The dog father, excuse me. The dog father.
Get it right.
It's 10 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And as negotiators make their way to Pakistan for peace talks, there's word here in the U.S. that the war is having a negative effect on the economy.
The March Consumer Price Index is the first look at the effect of the war on the economy, but it told Americans what they already knew. Gasoline prices soared more than 21% in the month after the conflict began. The annual inflation rate of 3.3% was the highest since April of 2024.
That's ABC's Jim Ryan. Stocks are trading mixed right now, with the Dow down 143, but the Nasdaq up 157 points. The Tennessee Senate voted to advance a bill that would crack down on judges who obstruct federal immigration enforcement. That law reads that these activist judges would be referred to the Board of Judicial Conduct for discipline or possible removal from office. The bill's authors say it clarifies an existing law. It was approved by a 7-2 vote, now heads to the Senate floor for a full vote. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation saying it has located a man who was the subject of a silver alert issued yesterday. Chong Pham was found safe in Nashville after going missing since Wednesday out of Davidson County. A California sheriff's detective was shot and killed Thursday while serving an eviction notice after an armed suspect opened fire on deputies in what authorities described as an apparent ambush that led to an hours-long standoff. So responding deputies did what they said they had to do.
We intentionally ran him over. Don't shoot at cops. You shoot at cops, we're going to run you over. He got run over. He got what he deserved.
Tulare County Sheriff Mike Boudreau there telling news organizations that suspect stayed on the ground poised to shoot again with a high-powered rifle. So they ran him over in their Bearcat armored vehicle. That suspect died instantly. It's homecoming day for Artemis II, and ABC's Jim Ryan tells us that the 3 Americans and the 1 Canadian astronaut on board are stowing their luggage in the overhead bins and buckling up in preparation for splashdown.
The crew aboard the Orion spacecraft will bring back thousands of images of the far side of the moon and invaluable insights into space travel. Pilot Victor Glover.
This is just the beginning, and there's nothing that we can't accomplish.
Artemis II was essentially a reconnaissance flight to pave the way for the lunar landing planned in 2028.
Splashdown is later today. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
I show one picture of me and Snoop Dogg to the people on the YouTube channel, and they're calling me a degenerate stoner. Can you believe that?
You're the weed man now.
Look at me. I'm the weed man now. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. My name is Chris Hand. The show is, I just did that part. The show is live on YouTube and Rumble. Smash the subscribe button. We're taking your phone calls. Agenda-free Friday. We'll get to some Iran updates if the phone calls slow down. But in the meantime, we can talk about anything you want to talk about. 615-737-9986. Let's go to David in Goodlettsville. What's up, Dave? How are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
I'm good, man.
Caller.
Hey, I appreciate you calling in. What do you got?
Well, the fact that Melania has come out and has told the whole world that she is not involved in any way with the Epstein files has taken her to a level that her courage and her bravery stands very, very strong. And well, you know, they can't get nothing on Mr. Trump, the president, anything that'll stick. And now it seems like they're going to his first lady, and you know, they just seem to keep digging their hole deeper. It seems like they're trying to use them as a cover up for their own, you know, for their own behalf.
Yeah, and part of me wonders, you know, there's reporting that Donald Trump had no idea what she was going to say. Part of me wonders if that's plausible deniability, and Trump is just as frustrated with the FBI and the DOJ and the lack of accountability that we've seen with the Epstein files, and he's tired of it being used against him. So he's like, yeah, go out there and say it. You know, tell the victims to come forward, get on the record. And to another point, it is a little infuriating when you have all these people speaking out, yet they don't name the names. And it goes to Republican members of Congress, too, where when we have Nancy Mace or Thomas Massey, and they're like, if you only knew some of the names, you'd be shocked. It's like, well, then tell us, by all means. Like, we're all ears. You know, in England, they're arresting the king's brother.
On their behalf to you know, stand their ground. And, you know, well, just like the president says, you know, if you have any proof, bring it to light.
Yep.
And it seems like to me that, you know, they're having more problems with blaming than to use their own, you know, their own abilities to try to exhume themselves from, you know, their corruption of being in a cover-up that they may be involved with, and you know, they're not, you know, explaining what their problem is.
Yeah, I hear you, man, and I appreciate the call, David. Call in anytime. Let's go to Doug in Gallatin. What's up, Doug?
Hey, what's going on, Chris? Good show this morning.
Thank you, sir. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I just want to bring up something that happened in 1956 when Nikita Khrushchev said, we will take over your country and we will not have to fire a shot because we will destroy you from within. And as the years have gone by, which I'm an older guy, it almost seems like that's the truth. It seems like we're, you know, everyone's infighting and everyone's, you know, you got people here that are from different countries that will not acknowledge the fact that they're Americans. I had a boss that was from Hungary, and people used to ask him, he had a very heavy accent, and people used to ask him, where are you from? He would say, America, the United States. And they would say, no, not with that accent. You're not. He said, I'm an American. I'm from, you know, I'm a United States American. And he wouldn't fall for that trap that people would try to put him in. And he was proud to be an American. And, you know, it seems like we've gotten so far away from that. And we have so many people that have all these agendas that are just killing us on the inside of our own country. And I keep thinking what Khrushchev said.
Have you ever seen a video of I think it's from the late 70s or early 80s. It was a guy by the name of Yuri Bezmenov. He was a KGB defector, and he talked about how the KGB went in with the intent to manipulate and brainwash an entire generation of Americans. Have you ever heard that?
I've heard about it, but I haven't really seen the video.
Okay, well, then I'm gonna play it for you right here, Doug. I appreciate the call, and you kind of got my brain sparked. And when you say that we're gonna take you over without firing a shot, I thought of this Yuri Bezmenov video, and this is a little bit longer than we like to play on the show, but this is one of like the biggest gems that you can discover on the internet is Yuri Bezmenov, the KGB defector, breaking down how the communists would take over America without firing a single shot.
Well, you spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets use the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American mass media has to do, is to unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see it. There is no mystery. There is nothing to do with espionage. I know that espionage intelligence gathering looks more romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers. But in reality, the main emphasis of the KGB is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
So that's Yuri Bezmenov. Again, he's a KGB defector. It's about a 40-minute interview that is floating around on the internet. It's been floating around for years, but I think it actually paints a picture of how we got to where we are today in this country. We got a long way to go to get back. Make no mistake about it. You talk about the demoralization. Well, look at what's been done in this country, especially to the white Christian population. I mean, we have been demoralized. And then you talk about, even if you present people with authentic information, they won't change their minds. Yep, sounds about right. Let's go to Gary in Springfield. What's up, Gary?
Hey, thank you for having me on. And I'll be parking soon so you don't hear my vehicle. But that's called the Soviet Sleeper Program. I'll be 73 next month, so I've been around a while. And we learned about this on active duty when I was an officer. The Soviet Sleeper Program was designed to do exactly what this former KGB defector was talking about. And on our side, when we learned about it, it literally was implemented this way. In Washington, D.C. alone, there were 600 KGB agents operational. There were KGB agents on every single college campus. So when Khrushchev said we're going to bury you from within, that's exactly what he meant.
Yep.
And they would recruit. It'd take about and this is really the recruiting standard even for the military. To find one good recruit, it takes about qualifying 100. You know, get them to come in or say yes or whatever, or be qualified one way or another. And that's how they find the Clintons, Hillary and people like that. And what they look for is character flaws. You've got a problem with, say, libido. You know, you're just like sexaholic, whatever. You got a drinking problem. You got psychological issues. You're weak, and then they develop you, okay? And the whole thing is you're part of the fabric of education, and you go up through industry, through government, state, local, federal, banking, the university system. And it does take decades. And what we're seeing now is the fruition of that. And not only that, once it's really discovered that it's happening, and you're watching happen, the ludicrous minds that can't even think and use the common sense.
Yep.
It's going to take a generation to undo this, or it's going to take us now. But they began to explode. Once discovered, the idea was, okay, do as much damage as you can where you're at.
Yep.
Where you're at. Everywhere. In the entire pipeline to bring this country down. And we named it the Soviet Sleeper Program. And you're watching it unfold everywhere.
Yeah.
And media are the primary vehicle next to
education. It's media and education are key, 100%. The education gets them while they're young. The media reinforces it. I mean, this is the fight. This is the fight that we're in. We need another Red Scare. We need to go back to McCarthyism.
That's right. That's exactly right. Because they are the enemy.
Yep.
The media is the enemy.
Yep.
A lot of Congress is the enemy. There are communists in Congress. Right now, there's about 100 of them in the House and some in the Senate. They are communists. My second career was in state government. I've been retired some time. But I'm telling you right here now, I had a boss that when Katrina happened and New Orleans got wiped out and it's flooded now, he literally told me, Gary, communism can, he was a yellow dog Democrat, communism can work in America, and here's an opportunity to create the utopia city. And you know what I told him? And he always gave me great efficiency reports. I said, yeah, here's option. I'm not going to mention his name. He's passed away. I said, now let commerce come in and get, and some guy can make a lot of money with glass-bottom boats so you can see Bourbon Street in the cages the girls used to dance in. Because it's all underwater.
Hey, Gary, I appreciate your call as always, man. Thank you so much. A little more of Yuri Bezmenov. Everybody's reacting on the text line. A lot of people haven't heard of Yuri Bezmenov. Again, KGB defector, Y-U-R-I, Yuri Bezmenov, B-E-Z-M-E-N-O-V, if you want to look him up and find this whole interview. But there's just another little taste.
This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis, to promise people all kind of goodies and the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition, and to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C. The United States is in the state of war, undeclared total war against the basic principles and the foundations of this system. however ridiculous it may sound, the world communist system or the world communist conspiracy, whether I scare some people or not, I don't give a hoot. If you are not scared by now, nothing can scare you. If people will fail to grasp the impending danger of that development, nothing ever can help United States. You may kiss goodbye to your freedom, including freedoms to homosexuals, to prison inmate. All this freedom will vanish, evaporate in 5 seconds, including your precious lives. It's simplistic. I know it sounds unpleasant. I know Americans don't like to listen to things which are unpleasant. The time bomb is ticking. With every second, the disaster is coming closer and closer. Unlike myself, you will have nowhere to defect to.
It's the last place that we can go. It's here. Yuri Bezmenov, again, KGB defector. Let's go to D'Angelo in Nashville. What's up, D'Angelo?
What's going on, man? Listen, I think it's hilarious of how you're defending Melania. You constantly defend Trump on anything that he does, but I'm cracking up off the fact that it seems like you're really making a great case for Melania, and I believe that she knows Miss Maxwell. I believe that they all ran in the same circles. The picture that they took, it wasn't just by chance. It was pretty much done on purpose, because I think they are all connected to one another. I'm not saying that the president's wife, I'm not saying that she was doing anything corrupt, but I'm sitting here saying that she knows Miss Maxwell, and there is a relationship. I think, just like what Dan said this morning, is that they are trying to get ahead of something that is coming out. Don't know what it is, but something is coming out.
I mean, that definitely could be the case. Or she could just be frustrated with the amount of discussion online saying that she was one of these massage parlor girls, a call girl, and that Epstein introduced her to Trump, and she's just fed up with it. And she's like, what are we talking about here?
Well, the thing about it is that I believe the guy's name is Wolf. When she comes out and says that I'm going to sue you for $1 billion, Mr. Wolf was like, okay, go ahead, do it, because I guess you have to do these depositions, and a lot of information becomes public information. And there's a lot of information that she probably doesn't want people to know about, that she's protecting people from. So I think that Dan was right. Finally, he was right about something, that she is trying to get ahead of the story. And whatever the story is, it must be pretty good, because out of nowhere, what does she do? She just starts talking about the Epstein files.
I mean, listen, one thing we can agree on is it was out of nowhere yesterday. I mean, absolutely out of nowhere.
Well, and again, you've got to question, why is she saying this now? Nobody's thinking about that, because he's got us distracted on the war. Now, I'm glad she did it, because they'll start talking about it again. I got a question for you, Mr. Chris.
Yes, sir.
What is he hiding? Or better yet, let me say it this way. Who is he protecting? Why will they not come out with all of the files and just, if you're innocent, let everything show?
So
why is he?
And by he, you mean President Trump?
Yes.
So, I mean, he signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act into law, releasing 3 million files, giving them the opportunity to go through all of the files.
Can I stop you real quick?
Go ahead.
He had to sign it. Because they had enough votes for it to, for them to, force it to come out. So he had to, that doesn't impress me that he signed it.
Okay.
He signed it under duress.
Okay, then why did his previous DOJ arrest him? Was that also under duress?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
In his first term, when Epstein and Maxwell were arrested, was that also under duress?
That he arrested
his DOJ arrested Epstein during his first term. Was that made under duress as well?
Oh no.
So why did he? Why if he's so intent on protecting people and covering up,
Well,
or hiding information. Why did he put him in a jail cell to begin with?
Well, why did the man die? I don't know. I'm just saying. Me personally, I think that I think that there's some things that the president doesn't want people to see, because I don't believe the president loves people that much to protect other people the way he is protecting other people by not allowing the rest of the files to come out. I mean, I was sickened by the fact.
Yeah, I mean, you could be you could absolutely be right, but I would also say, okay, for all the people that are talking such a big game, where were they during the 4 years of the Biden administration? And if they're able to go in and see this redacted information, why aren't they screaming from a mountaintop the names?
And again, my little suspicion is that they knew that Clinton was in there. And, listen, I'm not sitting here trying to defend anyone. I'm not trying to defend anyone, because right is right and wrong is wrong.
Facts. Yeah, we can agree on that.
But you do a lot of defending of this guy. A lot of defending. And
yeah, he's well. I mean, listen.
I'm trying to understand because
he's my guy. He's my guy. And then the stuff that I bring to the table, everybody will come to me with theories and hypotheses on what's going on with the Epstein files. But I will say to you again, and I've said it time and time again, Trump's DOJ arrested Epstein. Donald Trump worked with Bradley Edwards, the defense attorney for 70-plus victims. Donald Trump reached out to the Palm Beach Police Department to say you need to look into Maxwell, too. Like, all of that, it seems like for anybody that thinks that Donald Trump is dirty, all of that stuff that is concrete, hardcore, proven evidence of Donald Trump not doing any wrongdoing, they just ignore it. You just completely ignore all of these facts that have been proven again and again and again. And then I get hit, but then I get hit with a wild theory of, well, he's protecting someone powerful, and I don't know who, but I know he is. It's like, okay, but what about the information that I just laid out?
Hey, but I'll put it like this, Mr. Hand, is that when me and my brothers and sisters, when we did something we knew wasn't right, I was the first one to tell my mother exactly what they did. I'm just trying to make myself look innocent. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that he's guilty of anything, but what I am saying, it looks awfully suspicious. And I will say this as well, is that if Mr. Obama was in the same situation that the president is in right now, you would be agreeing with me 100%. It's all about your politics, man. I mean,
it's really not. It's really not about the politics at all. If Obama had worked with a defense attorney for Epstein victims, if Obama had reached out to the Palm Beach Police Department, if Obama DOJ had prosecuted Epstein, like, why would I be saying that Obama was involved?
Listen, I would love to believe that you would stand up for a Democrat. I would love, but you won't. And again,
are you a Democrat?
No, I told you what I was, man. I'm too conservative to be a Democrat, but I'm too embarrassed to be a conservative. So,
that's a weird place to be. D'Angelo, man, I appreciate the call, man. I'm up against it, but you're welcome to call in anytime. It's 1029. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's 10:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A new line in the sand from Iran. Mohammad Ghalibaf, the Speaker of Iran's parliament, now demanding that all Iranian assets that have been blocked or frozen be released before Iran comes to the table at this weekend's negotiations. He's also now demanding a ceasefire in Lebanon before those talks begin. We'll continue watching this developing story. Well, the talks are set to begin for this weekend between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. And Trey Yingst at Fox News says President Trump appears to be rather irritated with Iran.
Overnight, President Trump taking to Truth Social to say, quote, Iran is doing a very poor job, dishonorable, some would say, of allowing oil to go through the Strait of Hormuz. That is not the agreement we have. With just 8 vessels reportedly passing through the strait in the first 48 hours of the ceasefire, a statement was released via state media from Iran's new supreme leader saying, quote, and certainly we are entering a new era with the management of the Strait of Hormuz. We did not and do not seek war, but we will not give up our rightful rights in any way. And for this, we consider all the fronts of resistance as one. The region is waiting to see the outcome of the talks in Pakistan as Iranian officials and U.S. officials appear to be discussing a different set of terms.
President Trump also warning Iran against collecting tolls on ships that pass through the waterway. Well, it's often referred to as gas station heroin. Now, the state legislature here in Tennessee is closer to banning the drug known as kratom.
The bill would ban kratom statewide, making it a misdemeanor to have it and a felony to make or distribute it. While some argue kratom has helped them manage pain and addiction, others with firsthand experience say there are hidden dangers.
I did not know about kratom until earlier this year when I helped a young man get the long-time treatment that he did need. And when I talked to the inpatient treatment center that he went to, and I asked him, is this really gas station heroin? And he went to tell me that it was worse.
The bill passed the House with bipartisan support.
That's News 2's Tori Gessner. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at USS United Structural Systems. We talk about them all the time. But with the rain season coming back, you might be needing them a little bit sooner than you thought. And I hope it's not the case. I pray it's not the case. But if you get water coming into your crawl space or your basement, you need to take care of that right away. If you don't, it's going to lead to bigger problems down the road. See, that water could be getting in, and then it's going to be creating mold. That could be toxic for your family to be breathing in. That's not good. Or it could rot the wood that is your home's foundation, which leads to a weakened foundation. Neither of those are good situations to be in. So you want to call the guys that have been doing the work since 1994. The guys with over 30,000 satisfied customers here in Middle Tennessee. USS is going to send an expert to your home, not a sales guy worried about the quota. They're going to send somebody who's going to fix it, restore stability, safety, and that peace of mind. These guys live out those values. They're the best in the industry. And if you're dealing with foundation issues, if you're dealing with weatherproofing issues, waterproofing issues, connect with a company committed to quality and community. Visit USSTN.com or call 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, USSTN.com. 38 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. You can listen to the show on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch the show as well. Super Talk TV is up and running on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. We appreciate you doing so. We've been doing a bit of an agenda-free Friday. We kind of got off on the Epstein files, and that was fun. We can keep going down that road. Whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about. Let's go to Kevin in Nashville. Kevin, how are you, man? What do you want to talk about?
I'm doing okay, Chris. About your one of the previous callers talked, and you were playing the clips of Yuri Bezmenov.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd heard about that guy about 15 years ago, and everything he described, they have done.
100%. It is one of the most eye-opening interviews I have ever seen in my life. And it's like you needed to have time separate between when the interview happened and where we are today to really fully grasp how on the money that guy was.
Yes, because he had defected in like 83, I think. And he went to Canada. Then he came here, and, the FBI talked to him and everything. And he laid out to them and basically to the country what they were going to do and what they were actually doing. And then he even wrote a book about it. I think it was called Love Letter to America. And they have done it. And then to keep in mind, all these, the members of most of our governmental institutions, they've already come through the pipeline. So is the media. They've already come through the pipeline, and they are the true believers. And just like you'll see with it's like you can't question the government if it does not go along with their beliefs.
Right.
I mean, if it goes along with their beliefs, you can't question it. And well, you can go back to just even with the thing with masking up. Government said mask up. Okay, mask up.
Yep.
Don't question it.
And that was 2 weeks after they told us you don't need a mask. You're going to be fine without it. Yeah, exactly.
Right. But everything the government said, just go along with it. They said it. Never question it. And it holds to the Marxist belief that you always have to have a victim and oppressor, and that's what you see through a lot of the things that they promote to people. That there's always a victim and there's an oppressor, and with Marxism, you always have to have that.
Yep.
You can't have there's not. It's like there's no free thinking, and really, I would encourage people. It's a pretty thick read. Pick up Alexander Solzhenitsyn, the Gulag Archipelago. It's a thick read, but it's eye-opening also. Or there's two other books, not as tough, but called The Naked Socialist and The Naked Communist, and it'll open your eyes to a lot of the things. We are on a very bad path.
Yep, you're absolutely. I mean, we're seeing it. It's like New York City has a socialist mayor. AOC is so far left. You could make the argument she's a communist. We have these elected officials, but then underneath them, we have a lot of people too. Like you might have a good representative in Congress. Okay, let's take a look at his staff. And that's a big issue. We had been going to a private school, and we had noticed some like DEI woke stuff was creeping in, and so we pulled out of that private school. And one of the reasons was they didn't fire the guy in charge. He's still running the school. And I made the case as I was talking with a bunch of parents. I was like, even if we do fire the guy, like you understand how long it's going to take to root out his hires. Stuff, it's not going to be fixed overnight, but we do need to have an awareness of it if we want to fix it at all.
Yeah, right. And one of the things that I will say, because my kids came through the school system here, they were an irritation to some of their teachers based on a lot of the stuff that I was teaching them at home. It is not to be irritating. Always question. You don't have to be obnoxious, but question.
Right.
Question what they said, and I will say, yes, we gave our kids good biblical values.
That's key.
And those are the things that kept them from becoming like some of their friends and like some of the teachers that were teaching that.
Yeah, so, I hear you, man. And I appreciate the book recommendations. Kevin, call in anytime, brother. Let's go to Wayne in Nashville. What's up, Wayne? How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. What do you want to talk about?
So your previous caller, and then just the one that was online, he mentioned Cleon Skousen's book, The Naked Communist, and back in the 50s, when he wrote that book, he was a former CIA agent. He put down like the 50 goals of the Communist Party. Those were read on the record in Congress, in the House. It was like in 1962 or 63, if I remember correctly. But also there's another documentary out. It's called Agenda, The Grinding Down of America by Curtis Bowers, who is a former House of Representatives person, I think out of Iowa. He was in the state house out there. And they go back to all the history, especially Cleon Skousen, because he was a CIA or Secret Service agent for years, right through the McCarthy period, and how many communists had actually infiltrated, like the Roosevelt administration during World War II, and he goes all the way back to the original Karl Marx, Nikolai, but he goes back to the original parts of it, and then what the goal was from the very beginning in the socialist communist realm of it. ACLU was formed by Roger Baldwin, who was a card-carrying communist in the 20s, and how it related to, and not necessarily in the book, he doesn't discuss it, but the Scopes Monkey trial here in Tennessee, that was all formulated on purpose by Roger Baldwin and the ACLU to actually start pushing that communist agenda to push Christianity out.
I mean, communism is not going to thrive if Christianity is thriving.
Exactly. And see, that's the whole point. I tell people all the time, here's a reading list. Here's a watch list. Whatever you can watch and read that gives you the accurate history. Now, of course, we know history is written by the victor.
Yep.
But also history is written by those people that have been affected adversely by history, by things that are going on. But when you read Cleon Skousen, I mean, that's like going back into Saul Alinsky. If you read Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals,
yep.
He didn't come up with those rules.
No, they were already there.
But he put them out there in the public. And Hillary Clinton wrote her college thesis on Saul Alinsky. And amazingly enough, if you read it, she didn't totally agree with him on a lot of his stuff. But what she did, she agreed with his methods, but she didn't think the methods should be used in the streets. She believed that the methods should be used behind closed doors in the government, or where it wasn't use those subversive tactics that he wanted to use overtly. And that's what I try to get people to understand. I'm not an expert by any means on any of this, but I like history and I like digging into the roots of history. I'm a Christian, and I truly believe that the whole purpose of, if you look back at what communism was in the USSR back in from the time it got started with Karl Marx and then with Lenin, and how all the stuff he pushed, they pushed everything so anti-God.
Yep.
That they were able to control people, and everybody that helped Lenin establish communism in Russia, he turned on those people, and the majority of them were executed.
Useful idiots get it first.
Yes, exactly, and he executed those people because those were his biggest threats.
Yep.
Because they knew too much. And he passed that down to everybody, all the way down to, Brezhnev, Gorbachev, and, of course, now down to Putin. Because in order to maintain control, you have to be the one with the control. And that's what communism is. is that you have one or two people that actually control the masses. All the others are like what that coined phrase was, useless idiots. Once I use you and I'm done with you, then I'm going to execute you.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to send you to Siberia where you can never come back again.
And if you fast forward to present day and you see somebody marching down the street with their corporately provided sign that says Queers for Palestine, you can see that useful idiots are still alive and well.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, and that brings up modern day times. These people that are out here protesting that think socialism is such a great thing, or think that capitalism
Yeah.
Capitalism is not is bad. They've drank the Kool-Aid.
Yep.
And that Kool-Aid is poison, and it will ultimately. I mean, take the two people that got killed by ICE up in Minnesota. The ICE didn't kill them. Their political agenda on the left got them killed.
Yep.
They were useful idiots. Now, there's going to be people out there, man, you're so mean to say that.
No, I think you're on the money. I think you're on the money.
Well, me and you, we know we're on the money, but there's going to be people out there going, no. Their agenda that they had bought into, they were useful idiots because they were the ones with their the boots on the ground to take the fall for those that were preaching to them and had indoctrinated them into ICE is bad, Orange Man is bad, capitalism is bad. These people deserve to be here, even though they're criminals.
Yep.
And stuff. And, I know people that and then I was like, you know what? This is not one of those things where I'll be me and you just be you. Because that's where we have the problems. There's a right and there's a wrong. And sometimes it gets a little blurry in there, and that's when you need clear heads to prevail.
I'm with you, Wayne.
Just like you were talking about when you talked about the principal or the administrator at the school that you had your kids at, when they were going off and you recognized that, you called it to their attention. Apparently, the solution wasn't there to fix it correctly, and so you took your children and you put them somewhere where you believed that they would be better educated.
Exactly.
Not indoctrinated.
Yep.
And that's the reason why I think we got so many homeschoolers now.
Oh, and homeschooling is booming right now, and there's more advertisements for it every day.
Yeah.
Wayne, I appreciate your call as always, man. Call in anytime. Let's go to Aubrey in Murfreesboro. What's up, Obs?
Hey, Chris. Just wanted to give you my opinion on Melania's. I guess her comments yesterday.
Her surprise address.
Right. I think that probably with the speed that our news follows day to day, and I mean it goes orbit speed.
Yep.
I think she is not going to let this go, and this puts Epstein and the justice for the victims back in the spotlight.
I'm here for it.
Because that is something I think that is going to be hopefully corrected. It may take some time yet, but she's not going to let it go.
Yeah.
And I think that's why she did what she did. It's because everything else seems to be drowning that.
My big takeaway from it was I was actually grateful for it for a lot of the reasons that you just mentioned. It brings it back to the surface, and I appreciate the call, Aubrey. It brings it back to the surface. People are talking about it again, and it does put some pressure on some individuals to say what you know and hold some people accountable. I think we got time for one more. Let's go to our friend Tony in Montreal. Tony, you have quickly become Tennessee's favorite Canadian. I hope you know that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad you guys give me the voice to express myself, because it's hard to get on Canadian radio. It's hard to get any vocalization or publishing of what you're doing. But I want to address a couple of the things, especially Yuri Bezmenov.
Yes, sir.
I think he's a clear-minded person. You have to understand the CIA had different operations in the 60s. One of them was called Operation Mockingbird, which was used by the CIA to infiltrate journalists and to propose a more capitalistic or conservative view. Because in the 1960s, you had this entire United States being warped by Black Panther movement, which morphed into Black Lives Matter, which is a Marxist movement. It's generated with funds from Neville Singham, who lives in Singapore or in some part of Shanghai. He's a former American who sold out ThoughtWorks for $700 million and used $287 million of the tax affordability on the capital sale to fund over 2,000 NGOs that are attacking your country today. So your country is in a cultural, political, subversive war. It's a surreptitious war. This war is occurring on a daily basis. You guys, like today, you mentioned there were 4 hikers coming in from England. Well, that's quite interesting.
England,
hikers.
and their names were Muhammad.
Yeah, let's put it this way. Those gentlemen, if they were what we call refugee claimants in Canada, they would have stopped in Montreal and made their claims there, but that was not their objective. They came from the Middle East. Okay, I call them bombers. I call them terrorists. What they're doing is they come here with a surreptitious agenda. They're what's called immigration Islamists, fundamentalists, Muslim Brotherhood. I call them Islamofascists. Yep. Wake up, America. These people are in Dearborn. They're in Dallas. They're in Edmonton. They believe in Sharia law. They want to Islamify the United States. The immigration movement, which is funded by Singham in China, who is a Marxist, wants you to have a flooded country of illegal immigrants. And they want to sidetrack you all on Epstein. Forget Epstein. The enemy is that you need to close your borders. You got to start promoting your country.
Yeah, I mean, I would push back a little bit. I think that we do need accountability for what happened with the Epstein files. But to your point, we're always at a disadvantage against the Islamists and against the communists because they go with 100-year plans, and we're stuck in 2- and 4-year cycles here in America.
And you're 100% right. And your caller that was attacking you earlier, saying that you won't. You would not be able to support or protect or promote a Democrat. Well, let's put it this way. Give me a Democrat that speaks, let's say, for the United States. I'll give you an example. Fetterman, the gentleman senator from Pennsylvania. He seems to be a logical guy. That type of Democrat, to me, is the Democrat that was the John F. Kennedy type of Democrat. And if John F. Kennedy was alive today, he would be considered a Republican. If you use AOC, if you use
I mean, I think, and Tony, we're up against it, but I appreciate your call. I think JFK would be considered an alt-right extremist, actually. But with Fetterman, he's the last of the moderate Democrats, a breed that is rapidly going the way of the dodo bird, which is becoming extinct here in the country. We'll take some more calls on the other side. It's 10:56. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. In the spring, Breathe Easy package is on. It's designed to help you clear out dust, allergens, and pet dander from your system before the summer heat arrives. This powerful package doesn't just include an AC tune-up. It also includes an indoor air quality check to make sure you and your family are breathing the cleanest air humanly possible. You'll also receive a dust inspection and premium air duct cleaning to remove that built-up dust and debris that's hiding deep inside your system. But that's not all. Busy Bee is also going to install a whole home germicidal system to help reduce those airborne contaminants. And with premium service, you'll get a bonus unit fog deodorizer, which will leave your system so fresh and so clean, just like spring itself. Now, you're going to get all this value for just $11.99 on 1.5 to 3 ton systems, regularly $1,800, or $15.99 on 3.5 to 5 ton units, regularly $20.99. Call 615-775-7833. That's 775-7833, or visit busybehvac.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Drivers right now in Sumner County stopped traffic. Going to be 65 southbound between Bethel Road, exit 104, Long Hollow Pike, exit 97. That's right there in that construction zone. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Tennessee lawmakers passing a new bill requiring schools to come up with digital device policies for elementary students. The measure no longer bans devices outright, but it aims to limit unnecessary screen time in classrooms. Schools will set age-appropriate rules while still allowing technology for instruction in special needs. If signed by the governor, the law would take effect July of next year. We're about 8 hours away from splashdown for the Artemis II return, with teams focused on the final phase of the mission, the re-entry, splashdown, and recovery sequence. From the moment Orion enters Earth's atmosphere to the time it splashes down in the Pacific Ocean outside San Diego, it'll take about 13 minutes, says Jim Ryan.
The crew aboard the Orion spacecraft will bring back thousands of images of the far side of the moon and invaluable insights into space travel. Pilot Victor Glover.
This is just the beginning, and there's nothing that we can't accomplish.
Artemis II was essentially a reconnaissance flight to pave the way for the lunar landing planned in 2028.
Operation Epic Fury. The Speaker of Iran's parliament says they want blockades lifted and a ceasefire in Lebanon before talks tomorrow in Pakistan. Iran warning of, quote, crushing response if Israel continues strikes on Lebanon. What Israel is hitting in Lebanon are Hezbollah leaders warning Lebanese officials against making free concessions, as they put it. And just before taking off to Islamabad, Pakistan, for negotiation talks with Iran, Vice President J.D. Vance told reporters he expects positive discussions. Here's Karen Travers back at the White House.
There are significant pressure points on this 2-week ceasefire now on day 3. President Trump last night on social media was accusing Iran of not living up to their end of the agreement when it came to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Yesterday, only 7 ships passed through, so that is not fully reopening the strait to where it was before the war.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 7 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. You're welcome to join the show, 615-737-9986, whether on the phone line or the text line. We're just handing over the show to you guys and having good conversations. And disagreements go to the front of the line. I was just talking to Mason and Ryan in the back. It's like I love having conversations like this. Like, this is when we get a line full of phone calls and we're having good conversation. Like, these are my favorite days, when we can just talk. I mean, that's what this medium is for, that one-to-one connection and good conversation. I got some people up on the call screen that probably disagree with me, and so we're going to go there first. Let's go with Brian in Laverne. What's up, Brian? Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, Chris?
I'm good. What's going on?
All right, so I'll start off with saying that I really, really enjoyed your show from the moment that you became on WTN.
Thanks, man.
I was instantly hooked, loved your show, and then recently, just like with a lot of others, but we're not going to talk about others, just you, I can't with you anymore, and it sucks. But I feel like I'm wanting to know where is the line in the sand for you? What would stop you from pushing behind the Trump administration or the Republican Party, for that matter? For me, it's the Epstein files. It's the rape of children, murdering and eating them, and then hiding it and getting zero arrest out of it. We've had 4 years under Biden, and they screwed it over. And then we've got about a year and a half under Trump, with one of his main things that he ran on was this. And then he tries to tell us it's a hoax. And then, okay, it's not a hoax, but it's boring. Forget about it, guys. Nothing to look for. So, and you just keep backing this guy and backing him. What would stop you from being a follower of Trump or the Republican Party?
So, I mean, first I would need actual credible evidence that Donald Trump is implicated. And that would absolutely change my mind overnight. Like,
I never said that. I never said that he was implicated. Now,
this is what I'm saying. But even like,
I think he's protecting them. But there was zero arrest, and that should be concerning to anybody.
That is concerning to me, and I have mentioned it on the show. And I want more arrests, and that's one of the reasons why I'm grateful for Melania's comments yesterday, because it brings it back to the top of the news stack. One thing I would say though, what's that?
She's not president.
Okay, but I mean, it's the first lady. The fact that, I mean, it's a big conversation all over the news cycle today because of it. But
our president said to forget about it, quit talking about it.
Yeah, well, the Democrats were using it to bludgeon him, and
as they should.
His DOJ was the one that arrested the guy.
Okay, but where's the other arrest? There's still people that did this to kids, and we have zero arrests. So where's the line in the sand for you?
I'm with you, and I hear you. I put a lot of that blame on Pam Bondi. I put a lot of that blame on the FBI director, Kash Patel. Bondi got fired. I mean, I'm willing to give them time to see if we get some fruit out of this. But at the same time, I mean, do you think that we would be in a better or worse position with Kamala Harris? Because I look at the Trump administration as a whole, and I see a lot more net positives than I see net negatives. I mean, well, you tell me. Like, you don't think that we're in a better spot now than we were a year ago?
The only thing I could think of is that we might not be in a war that we started for Israel. But let's back up.
No. Hold on.
Okay.
Kamala Harris on the debate stage said that Iran can't get a nuclear weapon, and she was adamant about it, and that she would be so strong up against Iran.
We still have no proof that they have a weapon. We just got hearsay from Israel that's been saying this since for 30 years now.
I mean, that's your opinion. We're not in those rooms.
No, it's not opinion. There's actual fact of it.
We're not in those rooms. We don't get the classified briefings that the president does. We also thought that Iran's missile capability only reached 2,000 kilometers until they fired him at Diego Garcia, the UK-U.S. base that's 4,000 kilometers away. I mean,
How many times have they attacked us?
What's that?
How many times have they attacked us, and how many times have we attacked them?
How many times has Iran attacked us?
Correct.
I mean, you can go to any you can go to any VA hospital in the state and ask a limbless veteran about the IEDs.
After we went to their country, you're right. You know, almost like if somebody came to our country and then we defended ourselves. Kind of crazy, I know. But back to the Epstein stuff, because we keep going on tangents. I don't want that. So you said, all right, what if Kamala was president? Okay, well, we'd probably, yeah, you're right. We'd probably be in about the same spot that we are in, but here's the difference. We knew that. With Trump, he promised us everything, And I voted for him. I want to let you know, I voted for him 3 times. I've been a Republican since Obama ran his second term. Okay, I left that party, came to this party. He promised us everything the first term. He kept his promises. The second, all of his promises he has not kept. And I'm sorry, but the line in the sand for me is children. So at what point are you going to say, you know what, this guy's not doing right. He has not kept any of his promises. And I do want justice for those children who were raped, tortured, and eaten. I mean, we know it's our politicians on both sides, so I hate that the left is blaming the right and the right's blaming the left. No, you're both disgusting. Nobody should be voting. We need to take the country back over. Like voting, what's voting going to do?
How do you get to a solution? How do you fix it if you were in charge?
It's not my solution. It's what our forefathers told us to do, and I don't need to tell you any more than that. When we get so corrupt, our forefathers told us exactly what to do.
Okay, I mean, are you going to start a militia?
I can't. Dude, I'm not that great. I'm not that good of a man.
But I'm saying, okay, but like, you get all hot under the collar, and then you're like, oh, it's time to do patriot things, and then it's like, okay, you going to start?
I can't. I'm not. Not everybody's a leader. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you're not a leader. So you're saying you're not a leader, but you are well qualified to point fingers when clearly there's conversations that we're not privy to that are happening, and you're upset. So we have to abandon the Trump administration.
He abandoned us. What are you talking about? Everything that he said for us, like this, Alex Jones. Think about everybody who was MAGA, who got him through the Tucker Carlson, everybody that got him through the finish line, that really helped him, pushed him. He's now demonizing. Wait a minute, they didn't change.
Tucker Carlson called him like the Antichrist the other day. Like,
well, whenever
what came first, the chicken or the egg? You tell me.
Okay, what about all the others that helped him get his second term elected?
So there are quite a few people that are upset with Donald Trump, and I get it. I'm not going to throw the guy out over the Iran war, and I'm going to stay patient on the Epstein file stuff. If you don't think that Donald Trump and Melania had a conversation before her address, I think that's crazy. So the president was aware that she was going to go out, make these statements about Epstein, not knowing him, demand accountability, want the victims to get on the congressional record. My problem is when you point the finger at Trump, I mean, I can equally point the finger at the victims and be like, okay, you're talking a big game, but you never name anyone. I can do the exact same thing with Thomas Massey. I can do the exact same thing with Nancy Mace. I can do the exact same thing with Ro Khanna. All these people know everything. Where are they?
What is, for the 6th time, what's the line in the sand for you? Where do you go? I can't get behind, because right now pedophilia is not it. So what is the line in the sand for you to leave Trump or the party?
I'm not going to bounce away from Trump because I don't like the way these things are handled. No. My line in the sand. No. My line in the sand would be if he was implicated in the files.
Dude, even if he's not, and I don't believe that he did that stuff, but what we do know for a fact is he is protecting those people. And you as a father, I'm a father of 2. You're a father. You know that your kids know about this, and you know that your kids know that you're okay with the protector of these people.
The guy that the guy whose DOJ got Epstein locked up is protecting him.
Okay. And now he's free, but how many people got arrested after him? Quit talking about him. All right? Let's just say he's dead. Okay? Let's just say it. Let's say Epstein's dead. Okay? We know that there's a ton of other pedophiles out there who has done this stuff on video and in email. We know this for a fact. 0 arrest. How do you not get that through your head? How is that not like
I have called for arrests on this show over and over and over again. I have talked about the fact that his house has been wired for video and audio. I've talked about the need for accountability. I've talked about how embarrassing it is that England is out in front of us arresting the king's brother and we don't have anybody in jail for this. But the president is doing a lot of things. He has to trust the people that he puts in positions of power. When they drop the ball like Pam Bondi did, they get fired and we're going to get a new attorney general. Is it wrong for me? Is it wrong for me to think that the wheels of justice turn slow and to stay patient and pray for accountability?
How many years do you need? How many years then? How many years with this Epstein files being out? Because it's been out for a long time. How many years do you need for something to happen before you go, you know what? Maybe it's not right.
How much of your stuff? How much of your stuff is theory, and how much of is it concrete proof?
Concrete proof, thanks to the White House. What are you talking about? They released a lot of the files. What are you talking about? And there's been 0 arrests.
So
what proof do you need?
You tell me what proof there is, and who should be arrested for it.
This can't be real life right now. Have you not?
You said you knew all the proof. People need to be arrested. I mean, tell me, who should be arrested today?
Look at the people around him.
No. That's a very
I don't remember that.
Brian, that is a very direct, specific question.
Wow.
Who should be arrested today?
Letnick. Let's start with him.
Okay, because he went to the island.
There's masks with his face, all the emails with his name on it. Yes,
he lied about it, and I called for him to be fired, but that doesn't mean that he committed a crime.
It's all, dude, what are you talking about? You just asked for proof. It's in the Epstein files. He is in the files that says that he has done stuff. He's got his own name in there.
That doesn't mean that he was eating children, Brian. That's not what that means.
Okay,
I can say that. I can say
raping them. Sorry.
Excuse me?
If he wasn't eating them, he was raping them. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but it's in the files.
It's not. If you can send me a .gov link that shows that Howard Letnick was raping kids, I'm all ears.
I sent you lots of links, and you don't look at a single one of them. What are you talking about?
615-737-9996. You can text me any link you want. You've never texted me a link.
Dude, I text you like almost a daily. You blacklisted me or something. I don't know. That's whatever. I've sent you plenty of links.
Bro.
Don't tell me to send you links, and then you don't take my links. Be honest, but again, I'll ask you for the 7th time. Because pedophilia is not it. What is the line in the sand that will make you leave this party?
I've literally said to you over and over and over again, Donald Trump would have to be implicated in the files. And he's not.
So he would have to be a rapist, not that he's covering for a rapist. Got you. Okay.
You don't know that he's covering for rapists.
He's the president of the United States. He promised us this stuff. All of his people failed on it because he's not allowing it to happen. He's the president of the United States of America. So you're okay. So you mean to tell me he can go and arrest a president and his wife in another country in Venezuela, bring them back to New York, start a war without anybody starting anything with us, the United States of America, but he can't arrest one pedophile on the list? Do you not hear this? Hang on. Take 2 breaths. Think about what I just said, and then give me a BS excuse, please.
Bro, I don't know what to tell you. You seem like you are off the train. But if you're not going to vote for Republicans, if you're not going to support the conservatives, which I think that there are many good and there are probably many bad as well, where do you turn to?
Jesus.
Okay, so
I turn to Jesus.
I mean, that's awesome. That's a good answer. But if you move away from the conservatives, then you're essentially rolling out a red carpet for a party that wants mass amnesty, that wants abortion on demand, that wants to trans your kids. These are things that are non-negotiables for me.
It's already here. What are you talking about? It's been here, Chris.
Oh, because it's not going to get any. It's not going to get any worse, right? How could it get any worse?
It can. Just look at the 1930s. It can get definitely a lot worse. However, allowing pedophiles to keep doing what they're doing, starting wars, biblical wars for Israel is a very bad thing. And I must tell you, on top of that,
I mean, you think we're doing everything for Israel? Everything, like 100%? I mean, you sound like the black-pilled conservatives, like one of these people that have just you are so disappointed in the Trump administration. You feel so betrayed. But
just obvious stuff. No, not everything. I never said anything. I'm still waiting on, why you think it's okay for him not to do any of that.
I mean, I'm waiting. I'm being patient. The wheels of justice turn slowly.
Okay. Meanwhile, all those kids are just waiting, and then you got Melania Trump saying, "Oh, well, the victims need to come forward."
Why don't the victims come forward? Why don't you have the same anger who have been calling Trump out, saying he's hiding everything? Where's Thomas Massie telling all the truth? Where's Nancy Mace telling all the truth? Where are they? Where's Ro Khanna lambasting? Where were all these people 4 years ago? To me, this looks like a political weapon against President Trump.
At this point, it should be, shouldn't it?
If it's true. But these people were nowhere to be found before it was politically convenient.
The one truth that you can't deny is that there has been 0 arrests in any of the files in the Epstein files. And they said,
and if you listen to this show
every day,
I have been disappointed with the lack of arrests.
Yes, you've been very disappointed, but you've also been like, we got to get Trump out there. You're Trump. Let's kill all these. Yeah, the first missile we left was a middle school for kids. That'll get those Iranians. Yes, even though they didn't attack us.
You're right. I absolutely cheered on a middle school being bombed. Nailed it.
Well, you guys still cheer for more.
I don't like the Iran war. I want to get out of it as quickly as possible.
So why don't you you never say anything bad about Trump? Like, you're okay with this. You keep saying, yeah, let's get him. You can't quit talking out both sides of your mouth. You cannot be for the war and against the war. Can't.
No, you absolutely can. I was against the war, and now that we're in it, we're here now. We need to get through it as quickly as possible. I don't understand where you're lost.
You stop bombing these people and leave and take the money to we the people, because we need the money more than bombs.
Okay. Cool. Hey, I appreciate the call, Brian. Let's go to Steven in Memphis. What's up, Steven?
Chris, man, that was a tough one right there, man.
It's all right. I actually like these conversations.
Yeah. You handled it well, man. You handled it well. Yeah, that's true about leadership. The guy definitely is not a leader, and that's why countries like ours have leaders. That's why there are leaders and there are followers, because, like you're saying, there's still no solid proof, and we're still waiting, and we have to be patient. We have to have faith in our system, in our Constitution, and in our programs, and in our people that are still the strength of our nation, that are back in power and that are running our country right now up against this weak, fragile other side of this mirage of their futuristic dreams that we almost fell victim to, and we're right now in the middle of it, man. I mean, it's really up against us hard, but I think there's more strength in our people, in our country, than there is weakness. I think there's more people that have visions and that will work hard than there are people that are lazy and lost. You know, that's just who we are as a nation. We have a strong backbone.
Yeah.
I don't think that you were the Yuri guy, that video, very interesting. I can maybe possibly some of that was part of.
Hey, I'm sorry, Stephen, man. You're breaking up. We'll have to get back to you. Let's go to Joyce in McMinnville. What's up, Joyce?
Hi. I was just calling because I keep hearing all these people saying, why doesn't Donald Trump arrest all these people on this list? He has people to do this, and he's putting his trust into these people. He can't just go in there, look at him, throw it in there, and say, arrest everybody on this list.
Well, and this is the same thing I've done. You know, they're like, oh, all these documents are redacted. It's like, yes, Donald Trump was in there with a black Sharpie redacting all these documents himself. Like, do we really believe this? Like, he trusted Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi dropped the ball, and guess what? She's been fired, and she's going to be replaced. So I'm going to stay patient and hope that we get some arrests from somebody else. And until we get somebody new in there that we can crank the pressure up on, I mean, Trump doesn't have, superpowers. He's not the attorney general. He can't go arrest these people. Let's go to Andy on the road. What's up, Andy?
Hey, just listening to the show this morning. Sounds like an interesting day. Wanted to say thanks for taking calls with all of this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. What's up?
I voted for Trump 3 times, and I got to say I just don't like him anymore. I don't think he needs to be the president currently, and a lot of weird stuff going on. I didn't really start changing my mind and seeing things differently until Charlie Kirk got assassinated. And after that, I started just looking at things completely differently and listening to other perspectives. And I don't think, like the crazy left, but left-leaning people, I don't think they're all wrong. They're not completely 100% wrong. Some of them make pretty good points, like Charlie Kirk questioning Israel about why it took so long to respond on October 7th. Just a few weeks before he got killed.
I mean, so you think Israel killed Charlie?
Well, that's the thing. It's like these Lego videos that keep popping up.
I mean, one of my things with Charlie would be if Israel wanted to kill him, why would they do it in broad daylight? Why wouldn't they just crash his plane into a mountain?
See, that's another thing. I mean,
Why would they do it? Why would they leave the patsy alive? Why would the patsy's father turn him in? Why wouldn't, if it was my son, even if I thought he did it, why hasn't he been on Candace Owens' show?
Yeah, that's, there's enough.
You know what I mean? Like he's
gray
alive.
Area.
He's
it's everywhere.
He's in a jail cell. His father turned him in. Was it Israel? I'm open to it. I just haven't seen any information that actually points in that direction.
Well, you know as much as I do. I mean, I don't. Well, actually, you know more. But I mean, you can't say 100% that Mossad may not have been involved. He had just started questioning different things about Israel too. He was.
I mean,
looking at things a little different. Turned down $12 million donation. Right before I honestly, before all that happened, I mean, they repaved the entire parking lot right after. Why would you do that?
Charlie was a free thinker, man, and he had his own opinions. But I go back to the letter that he sent to Benjamin Netanyahu. That was one of the big focal points of the Candace Owens arguments in the beginning, that Charlie had sent a letter to Netanyahu that said he was turning away from the Israel cause, and that was the final straw. And then the New York Post got the letter, and once the New York Post published the letter, it actually showed his views were far more pro-Israel than anybody was willing to admit. And immediately after that letter was published, they moved away from the letter, and they moved the goalposts again. That's when I stopped listening to Candace Owens. But to each their own. We got a lot more calls that want to get in, and we'll take more of your calls on the way. 615-737-9986. First, I got to tell you about my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. If you think you have to wait for open enrollment to get health insurance, that is wrong. That's just what the big guys want you to believe. With Cover Nash, you can get covered right now, today, no waiting and no gimmicks. If you missed open enrollment, no problem. You can get covered. You lost your job coverage, that sucks, but you can still get covered. If you're just sick of overpriced junk insurance, you're in the right place, because Shane Ring and Cover Nash partner with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, even for specialists, ACA compliant plans with free preventative care, plans for individuals, families, self-employed folks, small businesses, you name it. Shane can find the right plan for you. Stop overpaying, stop waiting, and stop thinking you're stuck. Go to covernash.com and book some time today, or pick up the phone and call Shane immediately. 615-465-0023, 615-465-0023, covernash.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Drivers, we got road work and only one lane is open. 65 southbound in Sumner County. That's going to be a Louisville highway. That is a 65-minute delay, and it's growing longer by the minute. Tennessee lawmakers moving closer to banning kratom after the State House passed a bipartisan bill this week. News 2 says this is East Ridge Republican State Rep Esther Helton Haynes, who proposed the legislation.
This bill addresses the growing public health and safety concerns surrounding kratom, often marketed as a natural supplement, but natural does not equal safe.
And the legislation known as Matthew Davenport's Law, named after the Chattanooga man who died after using kratom along with prescription medication. The bill now heads to the full state Senate and could land on Governor Bill Lee's desk. 7.5 hours away from splashdown, Jim Ryan says the weather's favorable for NASA's Orion spacecraft off the coast of California.
After more than a week of feasting on dehydrated beef brisket, cashews, and shelf-stable macaroni and cheese, the 4 crew members had a request for their welcome home meal.
The biggest request that they had was uncrusted sandwiches.
Naval Ensign Jonathan Diebel is aboard the ship that'll pluck the Artemis crew from the Pacific this evening.
Operation Epic Fury. Members of the Trump administration on their way to Islamabad, Pakistan for talks with Iran this weekend. Here's ABC's Karen Travers at the White House.
The president said that Iran is doing a, quote, very poor job. He said it was dishonorable and said that this is not the agreement we have. Now, that doesn't mean that he says the ceasefire has fallen apart, but certainly a message of warning and pressure on Iran.
Consumer prices up another 3.3% year over year, according to the latest Department of Labor data released this morning. Among the highest gas prices, ABC's Elizabeth Schultze.
We are not yet seeing in this report a big spike in food costs because of higher oil. We know that a lot of grocers paying fuel surcharges, they often pass those costs down to shoppers. So that would likely show up in the months ahead.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, Chris, thanks for taking my call. I'm sorry about my voice. It kind of comes and goes nowadays. Well, I mean, and I've called before, but sometimes my health just doesn't allow me to sit online for that long. But first of all, thanks for taking my call, and it was my honor and pleasure to meet you and your beautiful better half at the Hendersonville event a while back. But when I was in the chair force, 1979 in Duluth, Minnesota, don't you know? And Duluth was had a huge harbor that had all kinds of ships and stuff coming in all the time. And as a two-striper, it wasn't like I had a lot of money coming in, so my wife had to get a part-time job, which later became a full-time job. She was working at McDonald's. She got approached by this guy while she was on her break. And obviously he had been watching to know what time she went on her breaks. And he was telling her that he wanted to meet me to, give me a chance to make extra money. This guy knew what crew I worked on. He knew what I did. He knew my security clearance. So when she came home and told me about this, I went straight to the office of the Air Force OSI. And they said, contact him, set up the appointment, and we'll take care of it from there. So I set up the appointment, set up the address, everything. And then 3 days after the appointment, the Air Force OSI contacted me and said, it's taken care of. It will not happen again. He was a KGB agent. And he ended up actually being put in federal prison. Yes, sir. Well, just know I love your show, man. And I wish all of you guys the best. I actually took my son out of high school in the 10th grade, and I homeschooled him while I was working a full-time job and 2 part-time jobs. And he ended up graduating a year early with a 4.0. All right, love you, brother.
Hey, Chris. I just wanted to call in about Trump. I hate hearing all this hate about him. I just personally must be wired different. It's like this. People cannot handle an America First president, and that's what this president is. We're not used to seeing that. And, he's doing everything for the good of this country. I don't want to hear any bad about him. That's why I hadn't been calling in. I mean, I'm hearing bad about him, but as far as Iran goes, he has once again got a full plate. Everybody that's been in office before him should have been doing a little bit along the way. They have done nothing. As usual, he takes on the hard things. He's doing everything for the good of this country. And if people think that we're better off with Kamala Harris, they need to check their intelligence. Because the only thing that I think of when I think of Tim Walz and Kamala Harris is, can you only imagine?
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
And a lot of people want to bludgeon Trump with the Epstein stuff and say that he's protecting pedophiles. And I want to say, who is enabling the child sex slave trade in our country? Well, that was the Democrats with the wide open border. Do you know who's finding hundreds of thousands of missing children currently? It's the Trump administration and Tom Homan. These are different things here. It's infuriating.
Hey, Chris, people cannot even have a conversation about America first. All they can do is hate, hate, hate. But you know what? I'm going to add a little humor to this. For all these people that are calling in and don't like what's going on in Iran, go out and have you an epic fury. They just added that to the Trump cabinet menu. Go get you a taste of epic fury. That's just, I love everything this guy's doing. I just love it, and I love to hear your show, Chris. You just keep on doing what you do, brother.
Hey, I appreciate you. That's the distinguished gentleman from Lebanon, Calvin. A lot of people say that John Kennedy sounds a lot like Calvin. I agree. Let's go to John in Gallatin. What's up, John? How we doing, man? Yo, John. Is it John? Is it Sean? In Gallatin, you want to talk about illegal aliens? We lost him. Somebody needs to do a wellness check on John. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. 615-737-9986. On the Iran front, let's do this. The CENTCOM chief was giving an update yesterday, and I don't know how you disagree with this. He said that Iran has suffered a generational military defeat, and it's hard to argue against it. You can argue against whether or not we should get in the conflict, where we're at today in the conflict, but the Navy's been destroyed, the missile capability has been destroyed, the nuclear capabilities have been set back and buried under about 2 football fields of dirt. This is CENTCOM commander on Operation Epic Fury.
Admiral Brad Cooper, commander of U.S. Central Command. Less than 6 weeks ago, more than 50,000 of America's sons and daughters in uniform launched Operation Epic Fury and embarked on a mission of profound consequence. We set out to dismantle the Iranian regime's ability to project power beyond its own borders, and we clearly accomplished this task. Iran has suffered a generational military defeat. The United States and Israel systematically destroyed Iran's ability to conduct large-scale military operations for years to come. Iran's conventional military capability, built over 40 years at the cost of billions of dollars, has been eliminated. As the president expressed earlier this week, our core strategic military objectives have been achieved after destroying Iran's missile, drone, and naval capabilities and their defensive industrial base. After successfully conducting more than 13,000 strikes on Iranian military targets and flying thousands upon thousands of combat flights, U.S. forces have paused offensive operations in accordance with the ongoing ceasefire.
Now, the ceasefire is in effect. Missiles have stopped flying. Donald Trump's vice president, J.D. Vance, is heading to Islamabad, Pakistan, to discuss things. As of right now, there's no traffic going through the Strait of Hormuz. Donald Trump on Truth Social a little while ago said, the Iranians don't seem to realize they have no cards other than short-term extortion of the world by using international waterways. The only reason they are alive today is to negotiate. President DJT said the Iranians are better at handling the fake news media and public relations than they are at fighting. President Donald J. Trump.
That interview. We are loading up the ships with the best ammunition, the best weapons ever made, even better than what we did previously, and we blew them apart. Now, all of this is activity remains constrained in that critical oil ship flow and waterway. The ships are waiting to get in. We've only seen maybe 3 of them with oil in them. Other ships have made it through up to about 11 or 12. But usually we see between 120 and 150 going through the Strait of Hormuz. Countries are perched to see what will happen next. And you heard from President Trump. He's more than perched. He didn't pull anybody out of that region. This is a ceasefire in the war. This is not a complete deal. We know that J.D. Vance, our vice president, is on his way to Islamabad, Pakistan.
And we pray that J.D. Vance has successful negotiations over the weekend. I want the war to be over, and I hope it's over soon. Ivan in Murfreesboro, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Ivan?
Hey, Chris. I think you've been compromised.
Do tell. Tell me. How have I...
Well...
tell by all means. I'm all ears. I love this. So go.
With the organization that you work for on the side.
What organization is that?
Run by Erica Kirk.
I don't work for Turning Point USA anymore.
You don't?
No, I haven't worked for them
since.
I haven't worked for them since June. I haven't worked for them since June of 2025.
Okay, I apologize for that, Ben. But you've still been. I don't know. You know, when I first started listening to talk radio.
Yeah.
it seemed like it was the true station to go to get true thoughts on what's actually going on in the world.
Okay.
But the gentleman a little while ago, I'm driving, so I apologize. The
you're
gentleman
good.
that was talking and making so much sense. I mean, you wound up cutting him off, and this
because
is
it was
Israel driven.
you can
Israel driven.
okay,
And
so
my God, my Savior tells me not to kill. Look what they did to Gaza, and so I'm an immigrant to this country.
I mean, there's a lot of stories in the Bible about warfare too, man.
Yeah, there is, but killing children and what they're doing in Lebanon right now, I got Lebanese friends. And I'm not crazy about Muslims. I was taught from a young age to hate Muslims because of the country I came from.
What country is that?
Serbia.
Okay. All right. I mean, so how does this mean I'm compromised?
No children, because the more I listen to you, and I love you, I truly do. I love listening to your show, and you make a lot of sense. But it seems like your thoughts are changing on what's truly going on.
See, I tend to disagree. I feel like there's a lot of people that are hopping on theories, and because they're amplified and echoed by large voices with big views and larger platforms than this, that people are accepting it as the gospel when we really don't know. Like we're really not in these backroom conversations. You bring up Gaza, yeah, I think Israel has gone a little bit too far in Gaza. You bring up Lebanon, well, we're not even involved in that. That's the Israelis. I mean, is it possible
that's the Israelis trying to break the peace treaty?
Is it possible? Is it possible that we went into Iran because our goals did align with Israel, and that we're now trying to get out because we're done?
No, we're not trying to get out. We're not going to get out. This war is going to be a long, drawn-out war.
I mean, it's easy, but it's easy to say that today. We've only been, it's less than 40 days. We're still under that same 4 to 6 week timeline. There's a ceasefire in place, and the vice president is going to Pakistan to negotiate a peace deal.
Listen, Chris.
I mean, but all those things are facts. All those things are facts.
No, I used to be a huge supporter of Israel because when America and NATO were bombing Serbia in the 90s, Orthodox Jews.
I think you're coming
went to Serbia.
But you're coming from a place that I am a huge supporter of Israel, and I'm just like, whatever. Like they're just another country, and if they're our ally in the Middle East and they need help from time to time, I'm for it. But I don't think that they're
not an ally. They're an enemy.
I mean, that's you saying that.
Okay, well, give me your opinion. How are they not an enemy? They've taken us into every war. For 40 years.
But you're assuming
about Iran.
Yeah, since 1979 when Iran came at us first. And Iran has been blowing up our soldiers.
What about Israel bombing our military ships?
You're talking about the USS Liberty?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very aware of that.
Yes. So is that not a threat?
What about Israel selling military secrets to China?
Well, right. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I mean, but we have allies that don't do anything at all. I mean, like we could do the same thing with a lot of our European allies.
America has destroyed our European allies.
How has America destroyed our European allies?
Well, again, back to my country in Serbia, after World War II, look up the Forgotten 500. Look it up. Are you aware of the Forgotten 500?
No, I'm not.
Well, look it up. Because Serbia was America's biggest ally. And the person that saved 500 U.S. airmen.
But here's the thing. And I'm short on time, and I don't want to cut you off because I feel like we could have a good conversation. I'm open to these conversations. I don't want to give foreign aid to any country, up to and including Israel. I think that AIPAC probably has a little bit too much influence in our government and with the money that gets thrown around. I think these are all good, nuanced conversations. But I think that we lose the ability to have good conversations when everything is Israel's fault and everything Israel does is evil. And it's like, okay, there's shades of gray here that we could be talking about. And I think that by jumping off the deep end, we don't get to have these good conversations.
Well, yeah, to a certain extent, I agree with you, Chris. But listen, so the younger generation is turning against Israel, and I don't want that.
I mean, but you were just on the air saying Israel is not our ally and that I'm compromised, and now you're saying that you don't want the younger generation turning against a non-ally? I'm lost. I'm lost. Which way are we going?
Okay, maybe I'm not explaining it right, and I apologize for that, but we are creating a hateful generation, our next generation, a hateful generation to hate Israel. I don't hate the Jews. I hate Benjamin Netanyahu, and I hate for what he stands and what he does.
Okay, I mean, but people will argue that Jews are bad and it's a Jewish problem and that we got to answer the Jewish question. But it's like, okay, governments are susceptible to corruption. Governments do evil things. That's not an indictment on the people. And when people just paint with a broad brush and go full anti-Jewish, again, we lose the ability to have nuanced conversations.
Right. No, I agree with you.
But then when you call in and you're like, Chris, you're compromised, I'm like, no, I'm not. So.
No, I truly feel like you are, because I've listened to you since you came on to WTN. And everybody's entitled to their opinions and change of thought, but it just seems like you're going the wrong way.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine if that's your opinion. I can tell you my thoughts and my words are my own. I'm not influenced or paid or having my pockets greased by anybody. So to call me compromised, I think that's a bit BS. I think that's low-hanging fruit for the anti-Israel crowd. When I think it's more deserving of a nuanced conversation. Does that make sense? But, hey, I'm going to go enjoy my weekend with my $7,000 checks because I'm obviously getting paid off by the Israeli government, and we're going to have a good weekend with them checks. So appreciate you. Hey, real quick, let me tell you about Conservatives for Lower Health Costs. They have been sounding the alarm. President Trump is doing what politicians have promised for decades but never delivered, actually fighting to lower prescription drug costs for American families and seniors. And he's forced Big Pharma to make deals. He's reformed pharmacy benefit managers and launched Trump RX. This is a platform to buy medications that dramatically reduce prices. Real relief for Tennessee families, seniors, and anyone who's ever had to choose between a prescription and paying rent. But right now in Nashville, people are getting a little bit shaky because of Senate Bill 2040, the so-called Fair Prescription Act. They say it sounds reasonable, but people are saying if it passes, it would force the closure of hundreds of pharmacies across Tennessee overnight. This is my big issue, is the jobs that would be eliminated, thousands of them, and over 1.5 million patients scrambling to find care. Many of these pharmacies serve rural communities where the nearest pharmacy is 30 minutes away. SB 2040 would also cut off mail order delivery. That hurts veterans, that hurts seniors who can't drive, and it hurts Trump RX itself. They say this is big government at its worst. When you're trying to solve a problem and you create 3 to 4 new ones. Conservatives for Lower Healthcare Costs want you to get some more information. You can learn more at protecttnrx.com.